Okay, in today's video we're going to take a look at the S&P, but before we do look at that, as far as the short-term setup in Facebook, that was a total bust. I mean, it ended up blowing through that support without giving you any buy triggers, so no harm, no foul. That's why we use triggers, because it helps to filter out a lot of the trade setups that are never going to play out. So beyond that, let's look at the S&P, and most of you remember me talking about the 513 EMA combo, and that when we crossed to the downside, that made this market vulnerable. Well, we saw a tremendous decline since that occurred. But then the other thing that I talked to you about in a prior video was the fact that we had to still watch for a possible failure even after we saw a beautiful rally off of some key support decisions and timing. But we still had to watch for a failure because the 5 is still below the 13, and then also we're below the 50. So we watched this general area that came in with a 618 retracement of this prior swing, and then there was a 100% projection of another prior low to high swing. We went slightly through that, but we stayed underneath the 618, and this was the area that we had to watch for possible failure. Now I want to show you one other thing that we do with this particular program, and that is we run timing parameters. And honestly, I didn't expect this timing to kick in this time around, but it did. So here you look at the report, the dynamic time projection. I made a new report off of that last low. I projected for the next possible high. And you can see here on the histogram, these are the highest scoring dates. So we knew that August 12th, August 13th, they were the highest scoring dates that said to watch for a possible high if the market was still trading up into it. So yeah, you know what? I mean, I missed this myself, but we did have the information as far as the time resistance to the move and the price resistance and the reasons to look for the possible failure. Now, if we also retest this old support and don't hold it, we're also going to be very close to taking out the 200 simple. So just know that as the 5 is still below the 13, that this market is definitely vulnerable to more on the downside. And if you need to protect yourself, you should.